It has been another breakout year for women's sport. Here at gsport, we raise the profile of women in sport all year round. We highlight the newsmakers.
6 dynamic runs again to Marizanne Kapp. This is brilliant to watch.
The rising stars.
Oh, it's over. It's all over.
Michaela Whiteboy claimed a historic gold.
The history makers.
South Africa had the opening goal of this final. It's come just beyond the hour mark.
The record breakers.
In South Africa, Lara van Niekerk.
Closing the visibility gap one story at a time in the gsport newsroom. Powered by Momentum. In partnership with Telkom. And we can't wait to do it all over again in 2023. Welcome to the gsport annual list of newsmakers 2022. Your host today is ENCA primetime news anchor Tumelo Mutsutwane.
Good afternoon. That happened to it one time for all the newsmakers this afternoon. How are you?
It's lovely to be here today and to receive that award. As mentioned previously, I have to thank Kaz and the team at G Sports for what they do for women's sport in South Africa. I think it's definitely needed. We are moving in the right direction, but there's still a lot of work still to do. Can't wait for the Home World Cup. It'll be the first for me. Even playing at home in Port Elizabeth, I've been playing for South Africa for the past 13 years and I've never played at home, so it's definitely going to be up there. Hopefully we can put in the performances and make the country proud. Just to enjoy the experience. I don't think they realize as yet how tough that is going to be. I've been playing in all these leagues and the girls are so much better to when I was that age. So they must just enjoy the experience and hopefully something like that, like the Under-19 World Cup, will prepare them for when they step into the national side one day. Well, firstly, I know beyond the World Cup, but I so badly want to win the World Cup. But no, as long as I can keep on performing and help my team win and help some young girls pick up a bat and ball, I feel like my job is done.
Now, our 2022 G-Sport Newsmaker of the Year is arguably South Africa's most accomplished women's cricketer, both for the Momentum Proteas and on the International Women's Franchise League circuit. This year, she stood tall for South Africa on a demanding tour to England, where she posted her highest test score, ladies and gentlemen. She further smashed a host of records in the Women's Big Bash League, playing for the Perth Scorchers, and for the second year running, she won Player of the Final at Lords to help the Oval Invincibles to win back-to-back titles in the 100. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to ask you to please rise for this special one. Please rise and give a resounding and warm South African rounding of applause to our 2022 G-Sport Newsmaker of the Year, Momentum Proteas, Perth Scorchers, and Oval Invincible star, all-rounder, Marizanne Kapp.
I've just been blessed to play this amazing sport, and I don't see the point in playing sport or doing something if you don't want to be the best at it. So obviously it's a lot of hard work, but a lot of enjoyment as well.
I think
think it's really important to try and close that gap and visibility within women's sport. Just personally for me, I come from a sporting code that is also a smaller sporting code in the country, and as gymnasts we don't always get the recognition that we believe we're supposed to. So with that, together with being a woman in sport, it's really tough trying to get that recognition that we work so hard for. But I think that's why I love what Cass does here with G Sport, trying to close that gap. And for us smaller sporting codes like gymnastics and being a woman in sport, it really does help us and benefit. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how well it grows into the future. A lot of the time when I speak to a lot of people, they only really know what gymnastics is from the Olympic Games. That's the most watched sport at the Olympics. But yeah, like you say, we would like that we get more attention on the sport even outside of the Olympic Games and all the preparation that goes into getting to the Olympic Games. It's that's also a really big part of it. But yeah, I really hope to see a lot more growth within gymnastics and women in sport in the country. Generally, definitely, it's really exciting that South Africa does get to host quite a few World Cups in different sporting events. It's something that, again, from gymnastics, we wouldn't really see. So that's really, really exciting to see that, women's sport is making a bit of headway there. But personally, I think for myself, I'm really excited for next year being the first Olympic qualification opportunity for myself at our World Championships towards the end of the year. So I'm really hoping that I can attain that Olympic qualification outright once again and qualify to my second Olympic Games.
2023 is a big year for women in sport, and I'm definitely excited for the competitions that I will be competing at. We have World Champs every year, we have Africa Championships coming up, but I think my main focus is just to qualify and be in the top 20 of the world for next year. I think it's very important just to never give up on what you believe in. Yes, you're going to fail, and you're going to fail many times, but you just have to keep focus on what your goal is and also celebrate the small steps you take towards that goal. I think sometimes when you achieve the smaller things, you don't recognize it because your main focus is just going or qualifying, say maybe for the Olympics or qualifying for World Championships, but you don't recognize that today I completed a training session, well done to me, or I went a month without getting injured, just the smaller things. But for the little girl out there, just stay focused, remain focused on your goal, and yes, things are going to get tough, but you will do it.
On tweet today about why it's important to support women's sport. #GAL2022. And one more thing, I didn't actually tell you this. I told her a lot of things, which was just thinking respond too much. I think it has won back-to-back newspaper media awards here at G Sport. Marizanne Kapp's wife, Mamelodi Sundowns, was our newsmaker of the game. Is on such a high, and we've got to thank cricketers like Marizanne Kapp. With limited support, they have gone and they've charted their way through.
I think it's important to close the visibility gap in women's sport because the more media coverage we get, we encourage greater corporate support. And we've had a table tennis player here today, South Africa's #1 table tennis player, and she'd never been to a media event before. She'd never been put up in the lights. She doesn't know what it feels like to be visible. And so for me, every time we get an event like this together, if I can get brand new people who've never seen the lights to come and be part of that, to have the spotlight on them, then we are closing the visibility gap. 2023, year of women's sport, we're claiming it. We believe that it's going to be the year that's going to prove to South Africans that women in sport deserve to be treated as professionals, that they're going to be paid to play sport. So we've got the Under-19 World Cup, we've got the Senior T20 World Cup for women, we've got the World Table Tennis Championships and the Netball World Cup. Every seat filled is a victory for women's sport. And so G-Sport today launched World Cup Wednesdays. And so every Wednesday, we will amplify every effort that is being made to raise the profile of women's sport ahead of World Cup.
Is a first-timer on this list, Banyana canoe marathon athlete Saskia Hotley. Round of applause. Now, this recipient has served South Africa as a leader on the netball court and now gets to coach the next generation of future national stars. Now, she's coached Métis netball to their first USSA netball title in 27 years, and then went on to lead her side to an unbeaten varsity netball title. Now, the winner is Zanele. However, unfortunately, Zanele could not be here with us today. And you know, besties, best friends always helping for you. One time for the best friend. That's the number guys here to face. And so this award occupies on our recipient, Zanele. And please get your best friend who will dress to the nines with this award. Just putting it out there. The hand did it there at the time. Thank you, Zanele.
Always feels amazing to be amongst such pioneers, women in sports, advocating for women in sports, closing the visibility gap, giving recognition to the women that deserve it. Another networking opportunity, to collaborate. 2023 is coming, and I think there's a lot of things that we as women in sports need to do in terms of collaboration and making sure we elevate women in sports. So absolutely honored to be here. Being the first agency in South Africa that only represents female athletes, I think that has been the highlight. And the feedback we got from a lot of people, I wasn't anticipating that a lot of athletes would be, messaging and saying, listen, finally there's somebody who's a voice for athletes. We want somebody to be sitting in those boardrooms negotiating salaries for us. We want somebody who's going to open the opportunities for us to go play overseas. So I think securing a few deals in international teams for the athletes is another highlight. And actually just, the family growing. We've got now 2 scouts, we've got a marketing manager. So yeah, the agency is great. There's a lot of tournaments that are coming, big tournaments within sports, and looking at the achievements, that we are doing currently with the netball, and you've mentioned with us winning the WEFCON, and next year we're also going into the FIFA 2023 World Cup in New Zealand, Australia. I think there's a lot of jam-packed action throughout all different sporting codes, and I'm just hoping that everybody stands up and roots for the girls, because I think we're really going to be doing so well in the next coming few years with sports.
It feels so amazing, mobona abantu besifazane ba honora abanye abantu besifazane. It was amazing overall.
It's an honor to come here. They're honoring women in sport, so it feels great getting this award, and yeah, we're happy. My message to them is that they must work hard. 2023 go the World Cup and anything is possible. And they must not go there to test waters. They must go there and try to win the cup, because it's possible.
think any occasion to celebrate women and what they're doing in the world of sport is amazing. To be here today and celebrate the newsmakers with G Sport for 2022 was brilliant. It was just so nice to be all together and to once again honor and celebrate top athletes, and coaches and teams, and it was I really enjoyed it.
The leading lines for parasport globally, and yet again she finds herself on a G Sport stage. Our next hashtag Real 2022 recipient is Montjane US Open runner-up and sponsorship signing Machine for Montjane. KG, congratulations. Right. And probably one of us to shame if they started sway. And it's so, and it is the winner is, we are so proud of these ladies, working newsmakers, making all the headlines for all the right reasons, and this is just more of what we need in this country. And this goes to Banyana. Congratulations, take your photo off.
Just give it space and exposure, that's all. It's a cycle. The more you write about it, the more interest there is about it, the more people know, the more they want to know. You know, there can be great support for it, for all the different events. And I just think give the athletes the scope, the exposure, the space, hype them up a little bit. Get people out to the events, because it's, obviously supporting women and women's sport, but then it also becomes a day out, it'll be fun. And so that's what I mean when I say it's the cycle. No bias, but I do work in football. So the FIFA Women's World Cup, it's down under next year, and Banyana are going to be there once again for the second successive World Cup. So really looking forward to it, to seeing what they can do, to seeing what the tournament does for the advancement of women's football worldwide as well. Because after the last one, there was more TV exposure across like the Women's League in England, in La Liga as well. There was more money being pumped into the sport. And I think after this FIFA Women's World Cup, it's going to be even bigger and better. And actually the truth for all the sports that are coming up in 2023, because I think the world is waking up, like women's sport is where it's at.
So please do hashtag GAL 2022 and do follow and G Sport for girls across all social media. And remember to play your part in bridging the visibility gap for women's sport.
To hashtag GAL 2022. It's our fourth newsmakers event. Isn't that incredible? So that's the Netball World Cup. They're so cute. Yeah, thank you very much, Sapsi. So that's the Netball World Cup, but we've got two Cricket World Cups coming up, and I hope you're supporting cricket as well, because the Under-19 World Cup, and we've got a Cricket South Africa delegation here. That's taking place in Pretoria and Pot, and then, of course, Cape Town and Port Elizabeth will have the Cricket World Cup. So you love World Cups, throw the ball up in the air and show us your excitement. Let us out and then get a moment of peace. You want to host the event? You absolutely cannot.
Gymnastics on the mat with both achievements that has made the entire country proud. I'm sure you would agree with me on this one. She is the 2022 African Artistic Championship Senior WAG Champion and Commonwealth Games bronze medalist. The second #Gal 2022 recipient is gymnastics sensation Rooskrantz.
I think it's really important to be able to close that gap in women's sports, because a lot of the men's sport is all that we see on television and on the radio, is all we hear about it. And I feel like women's sport is rapidly growing, and definitely a lot of women don't get the recognition they deserve for all their hard work and achievements. And I definitely think the world and our country needs to hear more about all these phenomenal women and their achievements in their regular sporting codes and everything that they do and work hard for. For me personally, I think that it's really, really amazing that South Africa gets the opportunity to host a World Cup, whatever sporting code it might be. But for me personally, I'm looking forward to heading over to my World Champs that are coming up, and hopefully being able to carry on with my winning streak and just be able to repeat what I did this year and hopefully even do a bit better.
But just in case you need a reminder to all G Sport top 10 newsmakers, let's take a look at the following video.